There we go.
Tom,
Well, maybe he's just running late. Maybe he's got it ready to go if he can get in, when he gets there.
Yeah, I've been on the whole time, and he's been on since the very beginning, but he has not unmuted or turned on his camera. So
He may be on another Zoom meeting about his
Yeah.
son's school. That may be what's going on. I don't know.
no. We're talking Tom Kramer, not Tim.
Tom Kramer.
Yeah. Our applicant.
We don't have our applicant, do we?
Huh? We have Tom Kramer's bollards in front of the
Oh, it is. Okay.
CES.
Sorry.
Application number 2023.
Right. Okay.
So what's everybody doing for Thanksgiving?
Staying home.
I'm traveling, but it's a really small group we're joining in a very big place. So
We lose Tom.
yeah, maybe he's jumping back in. Maybe he was having problems unmuting.
So someone I bike and hike with said that some second or third person back was tested positive for the virus. So now she's getting tested today.
Mm-hmm.
So people are backing out of our bike ride tomorrow, and who knows what's going to happen. So my sister says, well, I guess I'm not coming down for Thanksgiving. And
Well,
Yeah.
that's what's happening. I mean, it's just, if you haven't known anyone who's gotten it, you will in short order.
Yeah.
So.
My wife and I are both getting tested tomorrow, and we have like 8 or 9 people that are going to be together. Our normal family gathering is like 70. So that's all been canceled. So we're doing 8 or 9, just my immediate family, and everybody's getting tested before they show up.
How do you get it tested? Don't you have
You
to have?
You call your primary, and he makes a referral to, it's over by the Oxford Valley Mall. There's a lab
Right.
there. I'm going tomorrow morning.
But that's only good for tomorrow. I mean, in terms of.
Well, I mean, I don't plan on leaving the house until we
Right.
drive down there for Monday. Everybody's going to do the same thing. So unless the virus sneaks into my house, then I think we're pretty safe.
Then that's really good. Yeah, no, that's really good.
Yeah.
Scary.
It is. It's rooting for a virus. There's Tom Kramer coming back in.
Okay, good.
Tom, you're still on mute, and you have Jerry and Joy.
And he's
Tom
gone.
Kramer left. Maybe he's having technical problems.
Was there a cut on this with like a manufactured product?
I don't remember seeing one.
All I see is a steel tube, square tube, and then with a light.
What was the thing you saw to scale?
His photograph.
Okay.
And I thought that photograph was out of scale for a 6-inch tube.
Mm.
And the 6-inch square tube would be a lot lighter than what he was showing. So.
He's keeping us waiting.
I think he's making an attempt. He just must be having technical problems.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the queue. Just trying to figure out how to change the angle, and I did. Figured it out. Hard looking at it sideways.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Still nobody coming in.
You can walk by if you need to. You can walk by if you need to. Is he still trying to get?
Yeah, Tom's coming in now. Sorry, I looked away for a second. Tom, this is Joe Suter. I'm the host of the HARB call. We have Jerry and Joy on the line. You're muted for Zoom, so you've tried to get in a couple times. So I don't know if you're having technical problems or our Zoom is having technical problems, but we can't see you or hear you. You might want to try to unmute if you have that button on your technology. I don't know if anybody has his cell phone number that could text him and let him know that.
No.
No, I don't know him well enough. If he's on an iPad or a computer, he should be able to see us, even if he doesn't have it muted.
Okay.
So I guess you don't go to many shows, Joy.
No, they're all canceled.
Boy, you must go stir crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm used to traveling, you know.
Right,
Going-
I see you're.
Yep.
Yeah.
Going
It looked like I don't know if the Continental appeared to be. They obviously changed the occupancy rules for restaurants recently. I don't know if that meant they closed because it didn't look like there was anybody in the tent. You know, maybe it's too cold.
I know state parks, all visitor centers and everything else are shut down now. Any indoor activities or any programs are all shut down.
right.
So,
Well,
Yeah,
I also at some point, I think there are going to be fewer people showing up to dine at these places. I don't know.
well,
yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, last week it was in the 60s, so you could sit outside even if those
Beautiful
heaters. But
oh yeah.
last couple of days it'd be little tough to do that.
But then it's going to get nice this weekend, so they should
Yeah.
they should get business this weekend. All these places.
Yeah, I hope they do.
are
Well, they
out.
must be struggling. There was a
I know.
couple real nice places in Philadelphia that have been there for 40 years. One made the top 50 brew pubs in the country, and it just closed because they
It's
can't
so
make it.
sad.
It's a shame.
It's just so sad.
well,
Yeah.
Philadelphia for a while there, like we went down to Sampson Street and it all closed off, and all the restaurants along there were out in the middle of the street. So it was pretty
Yeah.
nice.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So I have Tom's work number. but
Yeah. I
don't
mean,
know-
he's on the Zoom call. I don't know. He must be having tech problems because we can't hear him, obviously, or see him.
I'm going to see if he's at work because that's the only
Okay.
number I have for him.
Yeah, that's worth a try. I can message it. Let me try to chat with him too. If
Well,
maybe
that's
that'll. Yeah, I'll do it to everybody so you can see what I'm saying to him.
Yeah. I always forget about that on this app.
Yeah, I actually teach. That's the only reason I know.
Uh-huh.
He's not picking up at the office, so.
Okay.
Are you chatting with him now?
I'm trying to just let him know that we're hanging here, and he looks like he's on, but he can't unmute.
We haven't gotten an application for that sign that's in the Yardley Shopping Center, that new business.
What new business?
There's some new business, I think where the liquor store was,
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen anything.
and they put up a sign. Beth took a picture of it. She was there the other day, in the shopping center the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
So just,
But they already have the
is
sign
it
up.
anything interesting?
It's some sort of sensory kind of thing.
Censoring?
Yeah, like I forget it. It's yeah, like relaxation sensory stuff out there.
Oh, my.
Yeah. There may be a water tank and other stuff, and I'm thinking, this is the time to be starting that.
well, they just passed an interesting law in New Jersey. Pennsylvania might not be far behind.
What's that?
They legalized marijuana.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
This isn't that kind of sensory. This,
Well, it might be soon.
well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Could balance our budget with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're all doing it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and it also, I mean, I'm sort of a conservative, but it also creates an enormous amount of expense to lock people up and chase people down for something most of society appears to tolerate. So
Yeah.
Right.
it kind of seems the libertarian in me is saying live and let live, you know.
So are you a libertarian?
Not, you know, I have libertarian aspects, but I
I
don't.
think a lot of
consider
people do, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not personally in favor of it, but you know, there's a lot worse things you can do.
You
I
didn't
guess.
vote for the libertarian candidate?
No, no.
Hmm. Do
Okay.
we want
The message didn't work, obviously.
No.
to, do we have any feeling, or could we prove this without Tom being on? If we can approve it, if we can't approve it, or if we have questions, then we really have to hold off.
Yeah, I had just a technical question, Jerry, and obviously you've been around a lot longer, and so have you, Joy, than I have been in HARB. But I'm kind of like scratching my head as to why, like a relatively modern structure like that, if they're just replacing a sidewalk, how is that? I guess I'm wondering why HARB rules on something like that. It sounds like something
Usually
like
if it's vertical,
oh, okay.
we sort of look at it. If it's flat, we don't. So if there's steps, we'd look at it.
Okay.
But
You
this
know,
is for
deck
the
we'd look
bollard.
at.
This is for the bollards, not the sidewalk.
Right.
The bollards are those parking barriers. Is that what the bollard? Yeah. I mean, and is this the proposal or is this what it looks like now? The picture that we got.
The photograph is what he's proposing.
Yeah.
And he's proposing 6-inch by 6-inch square tubes.
Yeah.
And what I'm looking at there looks like it's more like an 8 or a 10-inch. So I think the proportions for what he has in his photograph are out of whack.
Yeah, it might be, as long as the measurement is acceptable to you. I suspect this has been photoshopped. If, you know, I doubt if they got a mock-up.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and I guess my question really, and it's just philosophical. I'm not trying to change it or challenge anything. I was just wondering for something like this, that's, you know, obviously there, what would our standard be to either approve or not approve something like this, where it's a relatively new style structure, and like obviously bollards didn't have to exist 50 years ago. So why would it, you know, is that something we might say is not permitted because it just is a bad appearance? Or
I think it's important for us to look at it for size and scale, and maybe make some suggestions if need be. I'm trying to remember what's the size of Wawa ones.
I think they're about 6 inches, but they're round.
Yeah, they're round.
And now
Right.
they have little cardboard advertisements on top of them. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah,
Alright.
so 6 inches is about what you need structurally to
Mhm.
take a good car impact. And
Does it say how far apart they are?
I think that photograph
Well, I know, but since the photograph's all off
about
because
4 foot.
okay.
Aren't
Because
parking
the parking's
spaces 8
about 8
feet,
foot.
Jerry? Isn't
Yeah,
a
they're
standard
8
parking
foot.
spot 8 feet?
Yeah, so,
Yeah, so those are 4 feet apart because they're, I mean, somebody attempted to make them at
Right.
least every other one right on the parking
yeah,
stripe. So they have to be, at least the intention is 4 foot.
yeah. And they have had accidents there.
Right.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Uh,
I can see people putting it in reverse or forward when they're intending the opposite. That happens all the time.
I forget, I don't know if someone died or was severely injured at the Wachovia or whatever that bank is up there at the end of the street now.
Yeah.
And someone did that reverse thing and clipped him coming down the steps at the bank
Mm.
and severely injured him. So yeah, it
Okay.
happens. So anyway, so Joy, did you have any other comments?
No.
Can we make a motion without Tom presenting it?
I would suggest as long as it's going to be approval, he's not going to object. So yeah, I would say yes.
No, they do have lights in them. I'm not sure why they need lights because they're normally not. I guess it might be open a little bit. That might be a little much, but any
Yeah,
feeling
I
on the
would
light?
suggest that without lights, at night, somebody might not even realize it's there if it's black. You know what I mean?
Wawa doesn't have lights in theirs.
Maybe
Yeah, aren't they-
Wawa's always pretty brightly lit.
Well, this is fairly well lit too, actually,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine the lights are going to be that bright. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Well, we could make a recommendation not to have the lights, but as an advisement, we question whether lights are necessary, but leave it up to him.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, obviously, he's put some thought into it, and he's the business owner, and I doubt if his intention is to make something, unattractive and garish. Those aren't obtrusive lights, in my opinion.
Right.
If those
We don't
are
know what they're
functional, I would go with it. I wouldn't even try to influence them if that's what he wants. It's not like this is a structure like the Continental that's been there for 250 years. The building's probably 50 years old. I mean, at least the front facing of it. I don't see any historical significance of a slight difference in a bollard.
Well, they
Personally.
might end up being really bright.
Yeah, I mean, they don't appear to be. I mean, you can assume
We
that
don't
they
know.
will be.
We don't know because you don't know how big they are. We don't have a cut on that. It just says light.
I mean, it does in the document. It does say 4 inches, right? So the mock-up is obviously a Photoshop. So if it's a 4-inch, actually it says 6x6 steel tubing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
lighting.
again, that's probably some standard for parking lot bollards.
No, not really. Most bollards don't have lights.
And do we know that they have lights? Does it say that they have lights?
It says lighting.
It does?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it on my iPad. Okay.
Yeah, here's your, I don't know if you can see the detail.
Oh, I see. I got it. I see it. Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is if he feels it's a safety need, I'm sure not going to object, but I would recommend not having it just because we don't want to have a lot of lights all over the place, but I would not make it a stipulation for approval.
Well, then I think we just don't say anything about it.
Again, unless I don't have an objection to putting something in that if the actual lighting that's going to be installed is significantly more garish or obvious than what this appears. I mean, if this is an accurate depiction of what's going to go up there, it appears okay to me. It does not appear over the top.
You mean from the photo?
Well, pardon me?
From the photo.
Yeah, from the photo. Again, I know, and understanding it's a mock-up. I mean, if he puts up something 4 times the size and 6 times as bright, then yeah, there's a problem. But I wouldn't, I'm not sure. I don't see it as my place to recommend what my taste is in lighting, as long as it's in the realm of normal lighting for such a parking lot. You know what I mean? My intention is not to impose my opinion of what is in good taste, as long as it's not
I'm
obviously.
not talking about good taste. I'm just saying that it might be a bright.
Yeah, again, if it's 4 times as bright as what's depicted here, then I would agree with you. But if it's reasonably close to what this is, I don't consider it a problem. So
Well, if it's
that's
too
my
bright,
opinion. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's
and
entitled to
too
their
bright,
opinion.
it's going to cause problems for the drivers. So
Yeah, I mean, if the drivers drive up and they got a light sticking right at them.
Again, this does not appear to be that. So
right,
I would be okay if we indicate that the design has to be reasonably reflective of this. It can't be like,
Well,
you know.
but we don't know.
no, we
Okay.
don't know. So okay, so here's the question: do we want to continue with this conversation, or do we want to reschedule when he can attend?
I think we were just close to saying it was okay. Like we were going to
I
make
know
our
we-
recommendation, but we were going to take what he planned. So if we reversed from that, I don't understand why.
Because we don't have enough.
I'm not trying to hold
information.
things up.
Because we don't have enough information. Normally bollard lights shine down. Normally
Right.
they shine down so that they're away from the driver and everything else. They're a down light, just lighting up the sidewalk and ground around it. Normally they're lighting up the sidewalk. That's what they use them for. And in this case, they're shining out towards the parking lot and we don't know what he's doing.
But right, okay. Well, all right. So what do we want to do? Let's move this forward, because otherwise we could be debating this all night. Do we want to approve it with a statement about the lighting with that stipulation?
I mean, that's what I'm suggesting. I'm saying maybe if they're down lights, maybe we could say they're approved as down lights, not a light shining straight out. He may not.
How about we just ask him to clarify what the type of lighting is going to be?
So then you're saying postpone.
I guess, other than us making assumptions and dictate to him what kind of lights he has to put in, when he might already have some lights selected that might be just fine if he just told us
Right.
what they were.
Right.
I don't want to, get him to have a stroke because we just told him that whatever he had gone forward with was not acceptable when we don't even know what he went forward with. So I guess the solution is to ask him to provide more information on what type of lighting he's got. That
All
seem
right.
reasonable?
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we ask, and why don't we, I wonder if would it be a prepackaged bollard? So would there be a
I'm hoping it would be, but we don't know.
I mean, can he just, show us a sample from a sample
Yeah.
page or something
That's
of
a
it?
good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or more,
Yeah, if it's a manufactured cut, he could just give us that cut.
Well, I can't imagine he's having these all, well, maybe he is
Yeah.
having them all
no,
in.
you're probably right, Joy. He's probably a building supply item. I mean, he's not going to go crazy and custom build lights.
It
I would
does
think.
say the person who prepared the documents was at some welding company in Trenton.
Yeah, he probably does this all over the place.
Right,
No, not necessarily.
right. Well, anyway, all right. So why don't we ask
Okay, so we're gonna postpone it.
well, why don't we ask for that specific information? That's why it's being
Right.
postponed.
Right. Yep. Okay, so I'll email Patricia, say, we want additional information on the light. I think we can say the bollard design is acceptable. We need information on the light.
And we could have probably decided this tonight if he'd been able to get in on the call,
You would think, yeah.
Well, we don't have to say that, but
Well, no, I think we need to say that he obviously made attempts to attend,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, he was having technical difficulties.
And we don't even know that he's not on the call right now.
That's true. He could be listening.
He may be on the call right now.
Right. So, all right. So Tom, if you're on the call, we forgive you for not being able to resolve this. But I think we basically, if you're there, you have our support. We just have a question on the lighting. So I'll email Patricia and let her know.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
Anything
right.
else?
Nothing else going on tonight?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, you too.
Thanksgiving. Take care.
You too.
Okay. Good night.